Welcome back, subscribers, and welcome, new viewers. And I want to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed, who like, who share my videos, because that assists in my whole channel getting out there and circulating to more and more individuals just like you who are seeking this information. So I thank you, each and every one of you. And I have to say, right before I was going to start this video, I just received a just tremendous emotions started coming out. I started feeling just grateful and thankful and joyful, tears welling up inside me, just thinking about each and every one of you who have reached out to me, who I have had the privilege of knowing each and every one of you you are each all so unique and special. And I just want to give a special thanks to all of you, and you all know who you are. I just feel very privileged to know you. So thank you. And I want to give a special thanks to you, Julia, for making this video today available for not just you, but all who are needing this. So in today's video is going to be Pluto in aspect, natal Pluto in aspect to natal Uranus. So especially those of us, and I'm included in that, my Uranus conjuncts my Pluto. So it's all of us who have conjunct, opposing, or squaring Pluto, natal Pluto and Uranus. All right, so let's get started. All right. Doesn't reflect. Okay. In general, Pluto in aspect to Uranus has and will promote lessons pertaining to the absolute elimination of all emotional, intellectual, physical, and spiritual attachments that prevent or block growth. Wow. Big one, big one. This aspect promotes a subconscious urge, desire, or need to transform radically the individual's inner and outer environments. Strictly speaking, Uranus correlates to the personal or individuated unconscious dynamic in all of us. This individuated unconscious contains three kinds of information. One, all prior memories in total detail of everything that we have ever experienced in this and other lives. Wow. Two, it contains what we repress about ourselves. Issues, components, dynamics, feelings, and so forth. Isn't that amazing how I'm just thinking about myself and how I was bursting with emotion before I even started reading this and got on line here to read this. Wow. Okay. Okay, so feelings and so forth that we do not want to contend with or remember. And three, it contains the blueprint of what we can become in our most individuated state. Wow. Uranus correlates to what Carl Jung called the archetype of individuation from a psychological point of view. This archetype represents the urge in all of us to break free from the external and internal conditioning that provides us with a sense of personal identity. Conditioning comes from a variety of sources: society, family, friends, lovers, and our memories of what used to be. These memories condition the very definition of our values, beliefs, attitudes, self-image, and so forth, and thus contribute to our attachments because of the familiarity and security that they represent. With Pluto in aspect to Uranus, the evolutionary desire, need, and intent emanating from the soul has been to eliminate all conditioning attachments that bind the individual to the past. The Uranus-Pluto connection correlates to the desire to be free. The three kinds of information contained within the individual's personal unconscious is either in a perpetual state of release to the conscious mind, or it is in a state of cyclic, cataclysmic release to the conscious awareness of the individual. The non-stressful aspects promote perpetual release. The stressful aspects promote cyclic, cataclysmic release. The contents of the individual's personal unconscious must be released into his or her conscious awareness so that the required freedom from the past can be released. The intent, effect, and experience of this release promotes continual or cyclic thoughts, images, or projections connected to the past and future. The interaction of the past and future takes place within the context of the present moment and induces an awareness or knowledge about how the past has conditioned the reality of the present. This awareness and knowledge thus creates desires related to the future, of what could be, of what they must do to be free of all that binds them to the past as reflected in the immediacy of their current reality experienced in the moment. Just one moment, I'll be right back. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so let's continue. Just trying to find my space here, my place. Okay, the interaction of the past and future takes place within the context of the present moment and induces an awareness or knowledge about how the past has conditioned the reality of the present. This awareness and knowledge thus creates desires related to the future, of what could be, of what they must do to be free of all that binds them to the past, as reflected in the immediacy of their current reality experienced in the moment. Reactions to the Uranus-Pluto aspects vary according to the overall nature of the individual. Some will be so radicalized as to rebel totally against all traditions, conditions, or limitations that pertain to the past, individually or collectively. The urge and desire to create new conditions or traditions promotes individuals or a whole subgroup of individuals who symbolize radical departures from the past. Many individuals with Pluto conjunct Uranus in Virgo, which is me and all who are in my same subgroup, I guess. For example, I didn't know this, we created the punk phenomenon. In rejecting the past, these people have created their own lifestyle, Uranus, and the symbols, Pluto, that represent the fact that they are punkers. And no, I was not a punker. Bonding together, Uranus in aspect to Pluto, they have individually and collectively rebelled against all conditions and traditions that symbolize the past, and in so doing will transform the whole group, society, in some way. Others will fear Pluto, the future, Uranus. Thoughts or impulses related to the future will be perceived as threatening or undermining to their security, which is linked to the past, Pluto. Such individuals will attempt to identify with or link themselves to ideas, values, and beliefs that are associated with the past. Relative to the future-oriented impulses of Uranus, they will attempt to apply the past to the future in a new way. Still others will simply identify and link themselves to future-oriented change as society changes with the times. Again, using Pluto conjunct Uranus in Virgo, sub-generation as an example, some of these people will follow the new conventions and traditions as created and defined by the mainstream of the sub-generation. In this way, they will feel different because the sub-generation will be perceived as the leading edge of mainstream social change. Throughout history, Uranus-Pluto aspects have quickened the evolutionary growth cycles for all nations and peoples. Individuals with this aspect will experience a quickening of their own evolutionary pace and growth. They will feel an immediacy and urgency to transform limitations and restrictions remaining from the past. The forces of the past are accelerated as they rush to meet the forces of the future head on. If you study history, you will find that the intensity and immediacy of the past colliding with the needs of the future can be measured by the type of aspect formed by Pluto and Uranus. As an example, the Great Depression occurred as Uranus in Aries squared Pluto in Cancer. Hitler and Roosevelt both came to power in 1933 as Uranus and Pluto exactly squared each other. The resulting social changes and the course of history speak for themselves. At the end of 1944 and the beginning of 1945, Uranus and Pluto were in exact waning sextile. the intense conflict and stress induced by World War II began to ease as the seeds to end the conflict began to take root. The original evolutionary and karmic stress produced at the square began to manifest as a fundamental restructuring and reorganizing of the power bases in the world, the US and the USSR. With this restructuring, the allies of these two nations polarized into blocs based on mutual philosophical, political, and economic interests. The seed that led to this reality was sown at the original square. The crisis in consciousness implied in that waning square translated into the opposing political and social orders that were symbolized by Hitler and Roosevelt. The process leading to the mutation effect of the waning semi-square through conjunction translated into a new world order with respect to the USA and the USSR. Another seed that was planted to accelerate this new world order was the atomic bomb. Pluto correlates to the atom and the penetration of the atom. Uranus correlates to inventions. The waning square through the conjunction promote a progressive expansion in consciousness that induces the awareness of the universal or source. In this context, the knowledge that leads to the unraveling of the cosmic laws that allowed the atom bomb to be developed correlates to man's negative ability to play God. Amazingly enough, the primary inventor of the atom bomb, Oppenheimer, thought that if he built such a terrible weapon, it would forever end the phenomenon of war. He has, by the way, a devotee of the Hindu goddess, Kali. This goddess symbolizes death and rebirth to many people. Even through the 1950s, most people thought nuclear technology would bring positive benefits. Quote, atoms for peace was the slogan while Uranus was in a balsamic approach to Pluto. When the conjunction of these two planets occurred in the early 1960s, following the showdown of Kennedy and Khrushchev, the masses began to realize the reality of what nuclear weapons meant with respect to the future. The waxing conjunction of Uranus and Pluto ushered in a new age. Just as we can measure these cycles collectively, we can also measure the intensity, immediacy, and manner in which the individual will respond to their own Pluto-Uranus aspect. The house and sign of Uranus, plus the aspects that it forms to other planets, will describe the vehicles and experiences that will allow these individuals to break free from the attachments that bind them to the past. The past will be symbolized by the house and sign placements of Pluto, the South Node, the planetary ruler of the South Node, and the aspects that these dynamics make to other planetary functions. I'm going to read that sentence again. It's so essential, so essential. The past will be symbolized by the house and sign placements of Pluto. Okay, for example, my Pluto's in Virgo in the 6th house. Okay. The South Node, my South Node is in the 8th house in Scorpio. The planetary ruler of the South Node, which is the planetary ruler, my planetary ruler of my South Node in the 8th house, Scorpio 8th house, is Pluto. And the aspects that these dynamics make to other planetary functions. Which I have, for me, that would be all of my opposing planets in the 12th house in Pisces, and I have my Aries Mercury in the 12th house, but it's in Aries because that all opposes, and then my moon conjuncts Uranus and Pluto in Virgo in the 6th house. So all of that. And then it trines and sextiles my South Node with my Neptune is also conjunct to my South Node in Scorpio in the 8th house. And my Neptune is in Scorpio. Anyway, I know that's a lot. That's okay. Some of you might be following along, but that's all right. You don't have to, because I'm just giving you examples of what he's talking about so that you can see that in your natal wheel. And if you need assistance, if you want me to take a look at your natal wheel, if you want me to do any interpretations, let me know of your natal wheel and or specifically about what this author is talking about. Let me know. I will absolutely do that. Okay, the last sentence says, the aspect between Uranus and Pluto will show how this break will be made. So whether you're conjunct, square, opposition, that will show exactly how and how that's going to happen. Okay. Wow, this is very, very big stuff. Okay. And right now, we're in the Aquarius age, just in the beginning of the Aquarius age. And the planet for Aquarius is Uranus. So just thought I'd put that out there. All right, so any of you who would like a written copy of what I just read, send me an email, send me a comment. But I do need your email address if you send me a comment. And again, all of my information and my email address, everything is in the drop-down box below this video and each and every one of my videos. Okay, so always love to hear your comments, questions. So until next time, bye. Hope this helped each and every one of you.